about the aliens, IS, and so on. So let me move on to my point. Okay, first is the governmental role. I think that maybe in this debate that self-citizen is the consensus of the debate. But self-citizen, what does it mean? It's completely different in these two sides. So maybe they said that self-citizen means that self-hosted, but this is individual. But our meaning of self-citizen is the self-mass citizens. It's not individual, but societal level. So we government put priority on the mass citizen, not the individual citizen, because the government's final goal is making the happiness life of the whole nation. In order to achieve this goal, we have to set up the very easy and peaceful society. So if the system of society with such a world collapse, we never get the happy life, ladies and gentlemen. So in order to set up the healthy society, what we need is the citizen. So mass citizen, not individual. In this point, we put the clarity on the not individuals but the mass. And so the society system means that so ordinarily we go shopping to the town or exciting the music life and so work hard, sleep peacefully, and go overseas like that. We can enjoy ordinary daily life. Is that I think that ultimate happy in this world. So, however, the second point is that the payment for the lump sum is certainly against this goal. Why? There are two reasons. So A is that pay to terrorism group is that it is not trigger to the prolong this kind of list. Because once we pay to the terrorism, they'll recognize us. Yes, we send the kids snipping from this government, we can get the money. Why? So why terrorist group do kid snipping or get hostage means that they want money. So ISIS and so on is a very isolated organization. So they have very suffering to deal with that money. So in order to get money, they delegate kid snipping and get hostage and again and get money from them. So if they recognize that our government from our government they can derive the money, so they do again and again. So that this kind of the list of the big hostage will be certainly increased. The second, so B is that to get money is that it means that to cooperate to the terrorist group is certainly vicious because so this kind of terrorist group is a certainly anti-social group, so that it tries to destroy our peaceful or healthy society because and also and gave them means that so gave them the money to buy weapons or pay payment for the air salaries and so on, so that it certainly be a power to the ISIS and so on. So in 2 points, payment for the terrorists is certainly against our governmental goal, safe citizen, healthy society. However, some point. So this plan can be solve this problem. Okay?
Okay, so do you mean that you want to make those victims of ransom, or victims of kidnapping, so you neglect those victims of kidnapping rather than potential citizens?
So one is that so after I explained to you that this kind of the list of hostage kidnapping is certainly ridiculous. The second is that we actually criminalize the payment, but other kinds of ways. So for example, cooperate. So a few years ago, so when our Japanese are hosted by the ISIS, we are cooperate by the Turkey government or Kurd citizens and try to save them. And like this
merits my speech. Ladies and gentlemen, the government side stance was that in order to save citizens from mass attack, we should introduce this plan. But ladies and gentlemen, that is a strange story, an indirect story. Why? Because we can prevent mass attack for citizens by terrorism by more direct plan. For example, air bombing or government restriction directly to the terrorism. For example, actually, we're doing some scheme to the terrorism, ISIS, by, for example, air bombing and actually killing leaders of ISIS. Actually, they are weakened by air bombing. So actually, we do work by a more direct plan. So we shouldn't. It cannot be the reason to criminalize payment or ransom to achieve the government side goals. We think that our opposite side said was that we should save those who kidnapped by paying ransom to terrorism, and that is really important as the government, as the parents. And I'm going to explain in the first thing, thank you, about lose the opportunity to save those who are kidnapped, and secondly, about freedom choice of those who pay ransoms. Let's move into the first point, which is about lose the opportunity to save those who are kidnapped. So, under the status quo, why terrorism groups are kidnapping people? We can see is that the journalists are kidnapped by ISIS, or children, innocent children are kidnapped by the terrorism. So after that, in order to save them, the other people, or parents, or partners, or sometimes the states themselves that pay ransom to terrorists, and that is the only way for the save them children, save the children or those who kidnapped. For example, and if they pay, of course, for example, we can find a case of Japanese journalists kidnapped by ISIS, and when the Japanese government denied paying ransom, they are killed. Actually, no, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. But if they pay ransom, they certainly, actually, they can say, no, thank you. They can say that those who are kidnapped. For example, in the Spanish government, or so the European government, or save journalists by paying ransom to ISIS. Actually, we have the case. So actually, it's unreasonable to say that the kidnappers, if we pay ransom to them, those who are kidnapped are released, and actually we can save them. And okay, so of course no, thank you. And after taking this plan, what will happen? Those who, even though those who pay ransom has no responsibility for the children, for the partners to be kidnapped, but they are criminalized to pay ransom. And after that, what happens? They can't pay. Of course, they cannot pay ransom, or sometimes the terrorism kill the people. And of course, the terrorism know that it is no use demanding the ransom to the people, ransom to the victims. But they need money. So actually, that's why they do. That's why they do ransom. No, thank you. And so what will happen? So they start human trafficking. They start organ trading. By doing them by any means, they want money. So they do inhumane things more over. No, thank you. So actually, what will happen? Even though we can save them by paying ransom, they won't be saved. They will die killed by terrorism. The important thing is in this no, thank you. In this argument is that the paying ransom is a certain way to save those who are kidnapped. I mean the innocent people, and that is important in this first argument. Yes, Mom.
So why you could prioritize not only the mass but individual?
Right, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we should. Of course, we need to protect mass citizens from bombing. But I say that in order to save mass citizens from or terrorism attack, we have more effective plan to, for example, air bombing, a more direct plan to do that. So really criminalizing the paying ransom is too far from their purpose, and that is why we shouldn't criminalize payment of ransom. let's move on to the second point, which is the freedom choice. The freedom choice, why freedom choice is important? Let's look Let's look at two things. The first is whether it's a rational choice or not, and second is this harm to others. First, the rational choice. In the case of children are kidnapped by terrorism, for the parents, children is really important existence. So even they pay ransom to terrorism, they want to, as the parents, they want to save the children because the parents have a duty to protect their children. So that is the rational choice to pay ransom to terrorism. And second, the case that the government pay ransom to release those who kidnapped by paying ransom. Is it also we can say that it's a rational choice because as the government, it's a duty to protect citizens and save the citizens from a serious situation. So we can say also in this case we can say that it is rational choice. And let's move on to the second point, which is harm to others. Of course, firstly, we don't know how to use the. We don't know, of course, that it is uncertain that the terrorism, how the terrorism use the money that we get from the ransom also. Moreover, they commit crime. They commit human crimes. So, as I was saying, the kidnapping because they need money, because they lack of money, or if they have enough money, they don't do that. But it's a risk. It's high risk to be arrested. It's high risk to be weakened. It's organism. So organization. So we can say it is reasonable to assume that because they don't have much money, because they need money, they start inhumane crimes. After if we pay enough ransom to those terrorism groups, totally. When we say totally, because the kidnappers, terrorism lose the motivation to have a risk. So totally, we can say these cases, inhuman cases, will decrease, and that is why we hope this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, leader of opposition. The work on the member of government to continue their case within 7 minutes. They are with other ways like organ transplants and so on. But who will sell the transplant organ? Even if someone sells the organs, the difference is that the money terrorists can earn at the one time. We think the target of terrorist kidnap is mainly journalists, and they demand money to nations because nations have much money and terrorists
Don't walk or on a member who position to continue their case within 7 minutes. Here.
Their goal was to say the potentially kill mass citizens. And their policy is to criminalize the payment of ransom to terrorist groups. Okay, if you want to say the potentially kill mass citizens, then why not kill the terrorist groups themselves? I mean, to destroy the organization itself. If we can directly air bomb or like directly attack or like stop have an economic restriction, then we can actually comparatively decrease the power of terrorist groups. Then if those kind of power would be decreased, then those terrorist groups cannot kill those potentially killed mass citizens, then their goal is achieved. We believe that their policy is not unique in this goal. That's why we believe. That's why we oppose this motion. So before going to argument, let me rebuttal first. So before going to rebuttals, I would like to analyze the actor in this debate. There are two main actors we have to protect. First is the individual citizens who are being kidnapped. And second, those potentially killed mass citizens. Okay, let's go from the first actor. So, okay, in their paradigm, in order to say this go, if the individual citizen were kidnapped by the terrorist group, we have only one way to save those citizens, that is the ransom. And they told us that if we can actually cooperate with the government and can save them. First of all, is that there is no case that having achieved this. And they said that Turkey and Japan actually cooperated, but in fact, those hostages were killed. So we believe that kind of government cooperation is meaningless. And why is that meaningless? And this is our second reason why we rebel to this. Why is that impossible? Because the terrorist groups need money. If they need money, and then they have to protect, they have to exclude the government from the hostages, they will desperately kill those hostages from the government, and they have those incentives to have it because they need money. So that's why I believe that even if government cooperate, it's impossible to save citizens just by other means, such as other means than ransom. So we believe that ransom is the only way to save those kidnapped citizens. Then, if we can realize those citizens, then those citizens will surely be killed. So we believe that those individual citizens is important. And why is this individual citizen important? Because it is inherent and certainly be killed if we don't pay ransom. Because the second actor is talking about the potentially killed mass citizens. We cannot understand the potentially killed mass citizens. And in fact, their logic was not really clear. We believe that this is not inherent. But in fact, those individual kidnapped citizens are inherent. Those people are surely be killed when we. That's why we believe that it's important. So after taking this plan, we can. No, thank you. And we believe that after taking their policy, what will happen? They said that the case of kidnapping will decrease, but we think that is not true. Why is that? Because kidnapping is a rather easier way to save the money. If we kidnap those people, then we can use those people from using or selling those people themselves, or use the organ trade. And there are other ways of taking money other than ransom. So that's why I believe that even though we criminalize the ransom, those citizens will still be kidnapped. So that's why I believe that even if we take this motion, those individually kidnapped will not be rescued. So that's why. So if we do not have so, then there's a way ransom, and if we can pay ransom, we can actually help those citizens. So that's why I believe to help individual citizens, we should not take this motion. Let's talk about the second actor, the potentially killed mass citizens. Okay, no, thank you. Their logic was that if terrorists can gain money, they will buy weapons, and then they will kill mass citizens. Okay, there are two logics. Then I would like to rebuttal those two. First logic was that if they gain money, they'll buy weapons. Okay, the terrorist group's purposes is that they have to kill people. So even though the terrorist group do not have money, they have to have armament, they have to kill. So they have to their attack is on the expense of the group member itself. So if they get money, what will they do is that they will actually have use the money for themselves. For example, under the current situation, people in IS are poor. So what they do is that they do a rape or they do they rob something because they don't have money. But if they get money, then they can use this money for a living, and those inhumane crimes will actually decrease. So that's why I believe that those in that case, those victims of that crime will actually decrease. We believe those kind of zero benefactors will be saved in that potential. Second, we believe that in the first place, if we stop ransom, those terrorists will not stop killing people. Why is that? Because their purpose is not because first is that they have other ways to gain money, and second is that their purpose is to attack people, so they will not stop them. So if we cannot destroy the terrorist group itself, those people will not be saved at all. So we believe that potentially killed mass citizens will be killed on their paradigm in the first place. Okay, so what happens after taking this plan? Because your action is that to destroy the terrorist group itself and destroy the group themselves, we believe that if we directly attack and decrease the power of terrorist groups, then they don't have enough power to attack the people as a backlash. So we believe that those kinds of potentially killed mass citizens would be decreased in our paradigm rather than their paradigm. So that's why I believe that the criminalization of ransom terrorist groups is not relevant to this motion. No, thank you. So how about our argument itself? Because we believe that in the first individual citizen character, we can protect them by paying ransom, and this is clear because if you pay ransom, then they will those individual citizens will go back to our case. So we'll have finished the analysis of two actors, so I would like to compare version before. Okay, so as I told you, individual kidnapped citizens are inherent. And if we don't pay ransom, they will be killed. Sure. Or, on the other hand, potentially killed mass citizens, we cannot expect how many people would be killed in the first place. And furthermore, we cannot even understand whether those citizens would be killed. So, thinking of, we don't think that amount is important. We believe that if someone would be surely killed, we think that the potentially, not the potentially killed citizens, but rather the inherent individual kidnapped citizens, saving those people is more important than potentially killed citizens. So that's why I believe that the individual, we have to save the individual citizens inherently, and because we think that those, if we pay ransom, we can surely save those people, we're happy to oppose this motion.
Thank you, member for positions. So the vote for upon the position reply to summarize this debate within 4 minutes. Kia.
Ladies and gentlemen, the important matter in this debate is to save citizens, and we both sides agree, both sides the purpose was that. So let's compare the government side's view and opposition side's view at first, and secondly, the citizens. In which case the citizens can save the citizens more and more and less and less. So let's firstly let's look at the government case today. The government case was that they should try to take this motion in order to protect mass citizens from terrorism. The citizens they mentioned that terrorism demand money so by kidnapping for nation. So for example, they kidnap the journalists and they demand money for nations, and they get much money by kidnapping. And And if we pay, we cooperate with terrorism. It should be justified, and terrorism are strong things. So that is a problem, and potentially citizens will be increased after taking. The status quo, they have to take in Islam. They say that no money we pay, so they decrease the number of ransoms, and of course the terrorism will weaken, and that citizens will be saved. So that is a view of the government side, and the opposition side, and totally saying that of course we can save the mass citizens under the status quo now by directly attacking, air bombing, terrorism, and that is the more effectively and more effective and more direct plan. And so that is really superior to the indirect plan and far plan. And secondly, with consistency saying that we don't neglect its citizens, we save the citizens. And it's also important to say, look at each one citizens and save them by paying ransom in a certain way. And after taking this land, we can't pay ransom for the citizens, or so that of course we surely cannot save each individual citizen for kidnapped of terrorism, and also saying that the ransom are not the number of ransoms don't decrease, or unfortunately moreover when we look at won't decrease, that is a problem. So of course, and that is a problem. That's our view of this debate today. So let's first look at the citizens, in which case the citizens are more safe. And the government side, on the government side, based on the government side's view, that after taking this land, unfortunately, strange story, ladies and gentlemen, the number of ransoms will be increased. Why? Because they mentioned, they mentioned that they kidnap and demand money for nations and get much money. So when they kidnap, also after taking this land, the nations of course don't pay money ransom to the terrorism. So what happened? Of course they need money, so that is the motivation for terrorism. That they try organ transplant or for profit or organ. Okay, fine. Of course we can get money, but the money they get from organ transportation for profit is less than they get from nations, or they need to kidnap more and more people by getting certain money. So the case of ransom will surely increase after taking this motion, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. So of course, and so the victims of kidnapped will decrease after taking this motion, and of course the mass citizens will be decreased. It's uncertain story and far and less direct plan and less uncertain, more uncertain plan. And compared to government side's view, the opposition side view was that we surely save the citizens who were kidnapped, individual, we can save them, and of course we can protect and potentially kill mass citizens from directly bombing, directly killing the terrorists, and more effective, which is more effective and more direct. And because of these reasons, we can save more citizens by not taking this motion, and that's why we oppose.
Thank you. Reply. So the law for the government replies to my debate in 4 minutes. Yeah.
not fall in a poor, they stop snacking because they have no need to do it. However, it's all not true. Because one, so about the ransom to come again. So one doubt is that it's really there after our payment. Or second is that so it suddenly goes the next gets decreased. It is because it's at present they are falling in a poor, and if they get the money, they just radicalize their mentally attacking. So as long as they have money, so they use it all so that they need money. So they need money always. Last is that is my point that it's just cooperate to the until those groups so that it actually we can save the individual citizen at that time, but behind that half stage we expect 100,000 profit. The second point is that payment. They need a sacrificing, but I cannot see that a real example is really there sacrificing themselves, so that it's a very doubtful, and so it's meaningless. The last is that if they are not falling poor, they do not keep snapping, or they are just eager to religious goals so that they do not stop terrorism attacks. So these are all misunderstanding. So why? Because as I said, they need money. Always. And second is that they are achieving, they are just eager to religious goal. However, it's not true. So for example, the ISIS is the it's not the one domestic religious group, but it hires many kinds of other nations citizens from the French and so on. So the payments, so they need so a lot of payment and so on is needed. So they are falling poor. And however, on the contrary, our cases, so the most important thing is that we can certainly make that terrorist group itself. It certainly be a root. We can solve the root cause of the old problem. They are just giving us the solution at that time, and at that time we want to solve this motion from the root cause. So when it's we can see no more